Shaun of the Dead came out in the year 2004 and stars the likes of Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, Kate Ashfield, Bill Nighy, Lucy Davis and Dylan Morgan. This movie is about a low-life electronics salesman called Shaun, in which lives with his best friend called Ed. Shaun also is currently in a relationship during this movie with his girlfriend Liz, in which doesn't last long within this movie, probably about the first 10-15 minutes, as she sees him as quite childish, as all he ever wants to do is hang out with his best friend Ed and go to the pub. However, Shaun sees himself in a zombie apocalypse. He must devise a plan to save his best friend, save and take back his girlfriend Liz, and also save his mother in the process by taking them all to the Winchester, in which is a pub, and to wait till all this blows over. What I liked about this movie is the incredible stories it was able to mix horror and comedy together, in which was brilliant to see, as Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg take us on a wild thrill ride as we see Shaun living his life during a zombie apocalypse and seeing how he and his friends and his family are able to cope. Furthermore, it was great to see how Shaun was able to grow up throughout this movie, as we said earlier on in this video that this was obviously a problem for him and his girlfriend because they weren't getting along, because Shaun wasn't able to grow up, or isn't grown up enough to go out with her, because she wanted to do all these amazing things and he was just wanting to go to the pub every day sort of thing and hang out with Ed, in which obviously she did not want. However, he changes throughout the movie as we see several instances of this, as the main one I can think of is with his stepfather, as we can clearly see at the start of his plans of putting together what strategy, because they went through about 3 or 4 strategies of killing his stepfather Philip, in which he's played by Bill Nighy, and they wanted to kill him off, take his mother, take Liz, and then go to the pub or go to his house or whatever it was. However, that didn't happen, and instead, soon as he went to Philip's house and to his mum's house, he realised that Philip was just a bit ill, not that he'd actually been bitten, like he thought he'd heard his mother say over the phone, or he's a bit under the weather. However, this wasn't the case at all, and so when he gets there, he's got a bit of a surprise, because now he's got to take his stepfather with him. He's not happy about it, but he takes him with him, but on the way to the car, he gets bitten, and then he shows a bit of worry in his stepfather, but he's not like fully worried yet, until he gets into the car, and then he and his stepfather embark in this sort of emotional moment, in which he's like, Bill Nighy's character basically says that he tried to do the best for him and tried his best to take care of him and help him grow up. However, Shaun never saw it that way as a kid, as he was too childish, I suppose, to notice that and to take notice and to embark on his stepfather a bit more after his father's passing. Furthermore, another instance of Shaun growing up is between him and Ed's relationship throughout the movie, as we see at the start of the movie. They're all like pally and sort of like they're good with each other, and until Pete, his flatmate, and his girlfriend tell him, you basically need to grow up and need to get rid of Ed in order to do so. It isn't until that point until he listens when he is dumped by Liz. When he is dumped by Liz, something switches inside of him which wants him to grow up and change. He doesn't do it instantaneously, correct, because he takes time throughout the movie to do it, because even in the first part of the zombie apocalypse, he's still with his stupid head on, and his plan is quite stupid in reality. However, he is still in that sort of mold. However, throughout the movie, like I said, with his stepfather, he changes there, but he changes after his stepfather dies, as he becomes more switched on, because he knows that anybody can die around him. And when Ed is sort of being a bit stupid by answering the phone when zombies are surrounding him, he sort of has a go at him, because he realises there's actually a difference here, because I'm taking it seriously and you're just fucking around on your phone, not taking it serious at all. And that actually alerted the zombies to them more, and Shaun just flips at him and starts shouting at him because he has to grow up in this instance. And it shows that Shaun has grown up in this instance because he's had to take the leadership of allowing him and his friends and his family to survive, in which is hard to do. Another moment is key in this argument that I'm trying to make is when Ed is grabbing hold of Pete as a zombie and he's trying to kill him. However, he doesn't look around and sees that there's zombies all the way around him, and he eventually gets munched by him. However, he was trying to show off to Shaun, hey look, it's Pete, the idiot that I didn't really like, and if he'd have listened to, and if Shaun, and Ed was trying to basically make a point saying, you shouldn't listen to Pete, but however, Pete actually taught Shaun a lesson there that you've really got to grow up, and if Shaun was in that situation, he would have also been munched, hence why it shows that Shaun grew up throughout this movie, and Nick Frost's character Ed stayed the same in this movie. Also, just to finalise on this point, they were able to sign off Ed by killing him off as a zombie. However, before that point, Ed and Shaun just have this little moment, this sort of like emotional moment in which Ed and Shaun basically say goodbye to each other in their particular way, in which Ed basically shows that you can go on without me to Shaun basically, and Shaun's like, yeah, I'm gonna move on, but he's sad about him leaving and everything. However, he is able to move on, and he is able to have a life after him with Liz, and he seems more grown up in that as well. Even though he plays PlayStation with him in the garden while he's a zombie, he's still grown up more than what he were at the beginning of this movie. Moving on, I also like the actors and actresses within this movie, as this was quite a star-studded cast, as we saw the likes of Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, Kate Ashfield, Bill Nighy, Lucy Davis, Dylan Morgan, Jessica Hynes, and Penelope Wilton. Also, we also saw a couple of guest appearances in which were just odd little cameos as such, as we saw the likes of Marty Freeman, Tamsin Greig, and the likes of Matt Lucas and Reece Shear-Smith, in which I thought was quite cool. Consequently though, out of all these actors and actresses, I still thought the best two was Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, as they showed how good of a chemistry they actually have of working with each other, as this helps set the tone on for the next two movies that followed this trilogy, because this movie is part of the Cornetto trilogy, and it was able to get the Cornetto trilogy started, and I really like this movie, especially as it shows Shaun and Ed's characters, also Simon Pegg's and Nick Frost's acting within this movie, as they're phenomenally bouncing off of each other with different comedy aspects, and they've had some memorable moments within this movie, Hot Fuzz and World's End. However, I think their performance in this is like, honestly, it's brilliant. It's one of the best zombie movies ever made, in my opinion, and it's one of the best horror movies / comedies out there, as it mixes a load of everything, and it's thanks to the likes of Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, as they worked excellently throughout this, and when they were funny, they were hilariously funny, and it was no like cheap laughs here and there. It was really funny throughout, and that's what I liked about these two, and hence why I would love to see more movies with these two in, as they are brilliant together and they have a very good working chemistry. To summarise this movie then, I would say that this is Shaun and Ed's best movie, also known as Simon Pegg and Nick Frost's best ever movie, because they were incredible, and it is one of the funniest and one of the best horror comedies ever made. Hence why I rate this a 9.2 out of 10. Let me know down in the comments down below whether you agree or disagree with anything I've said, or let me know your opinions down below also. Also, hit that like button if you've enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to be alerted to all the new content this channel creates. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.